Hi again everybody, it's Gina here from Will Written, helping you to put your affairs in order and plan a secure future for yourself and the people that you care most about. Today I'm going to talk about an issue that worries a lot of parents once the nest is empty and there's a little bit grey on the tops, rather like mine, and the kids have grown up and gone. The big worry then really is, well, we've paid off the mortgage, our main asset is our lovely home, and one day when we're gone we want this to form the basis of a solid inheritance for our kids, for their futures. And the worry is that what if one of us gets ill and has to go into a care home? What's that going to do? Is that going to take away the children's inheritance? And if so, is there anything that we can do to protect the house for the children to inherit as far as possible? Well, let me start off with a bit of good news to begin with, okay? So, if one of you gets ill while you're both around and has to go into a care home, the house is safe. You don't have to worry. The local authority isn't going to sell the house from under you to pay your other half's care fees, okay? There are very clear regulations in place that say that the family home must be excluded from any means test for as long as it's needed as a family home for at least one member of this couple, so you're okay should that happen. Where you become a bit vulnerable is if one of you passes away, the other one is widowed and then later goes into care, because at that point, if they go into a care home, they leave a vacant home, and that is something that can be included in the local authority's means test and can be called upon by the local council to pay your care fees, and will go quite a long way towards reducing the children's inheritance if you're not careful. But there are a couple of clever tools that you can pull out of the estate planning box of tricks to cut that problem right down in size. So the first clever tool is called the Declaration of Severance. What that is just a very straightforward little declaration that you file at the land registry that basically says that from this point onwards, the two of you own your house in two separate 50% shares, a bit like shares in a company, which can be left according to the terms of your will. That's very important, because if you haven't got that declaration in place, your will has no effect whatsoever on what happens to the house on the first death. Then moving on to the will, in comes the second tool from the box of tricks, which is the right of occupation. This is a really clever and intelligent little planning move that you can insert into your will. And what it basically says is, I'm leaving my share of the house to the kids. Whether I die first or second, I'm leaving it to them. But if I am the first to die, I'm leaving you, my spouse, the right of occupation of my share. And the net effect of that is basically that if you're the first to pass away, your share of the house officially belongs to the kids, but the kids can't just come marching up the path and say, right, we want this house sold now. That can't happen until you've both passed away, because your surviving other half has got the right of occupation, you see. So you've got security for your other half, but at the same time you've taken your half of the house and you've ring-fenced it away from the local authority. So in practical terms, what that then means is if your other half, who's been widowed, gets ill and has to go into a care home, and the local authority comes along and does their means test, yes, they can include part of the house in the means test, but only your surviving other half's share of the house, because your half has already gone and already belongs to the children and is out of the council's reach. So that cuts the problem right down to size. You've made sure that at least half of the value of your family home is there for your children to inherit, come what may. So that's going to be a lot of comfort for a lot of families, because yes, a couple of years in a care home can just make the value of the average family home just disappear. So at least you can make sure that your children are going to come away with a decent inheritance, even if the worst were to happen. There's other things that you need to do, obviously, and it's worth taking specific advice about your specific individual circumstances. So if it's something that you want to explore further, do give us a call. We're on 0151 601 5399, always ready to answer your questions. And also, if you visit our website, and I'll put the website address below, You can find lots of useful resources of information about care fees, and we've got a contact form there that you can fill in, and it'll drop an email across into my inbox and I'll answer your questions from there. So I hope that was helpful, and until next time, take care, bye bye.